our fellow Pinkos and comrades. Welcome to this fun little bonus episode of Malt Liquor Socialists. I am joined by a man who, at this point, I believe, has probably already voted.
Yeah, actually I have.
Cool beans, as have I. So the reason for this quick little bonus episode is for those of you who are kind of going, who the fuck should I vote for during this primary? Or maybe it's a matter of, it's like you have an idea, but you're kind of curious who we'd want to vote for because, we're big influencers.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, totally.
Sure.
Huge.
Anyways.
Huge.
We're basically kind of going to go over what's on the ballot, talk about it a little bit. Mr. Morgan and I might agree on most stuff. We might disagree on a couple things.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might break out in a fist fight.
Whoa!
Because that's how politics devolves these days.
Listen, I'm not mad at the crew.
Okay. What crew? So we're just going to go down the ballot and kind of like talk about who I voted for, and because I took a picture of my ballot.
Oh,
so I had at least a reference.
Oh, fuck me. I didn't do any of that.
I know.
I should have. Oh, well.
I'm kind of like,
what a terrible influencer I am.
I know, right? I'm not going to share like the actual pictures. I'm just using that for reference because I don't remember everybody I voted for.
Okay.
But so first off is for the federal office for U.S. Senator. Is between Jeff Merkley and Paul Damian Wells. Mm-hmm. So I don't dislike Merkley. I think he's been doing a good job, but I did vote for Wells.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. On the whole pamphlet, Wells is very much like, look,
okay,
it's bad to be anti-Semitic. It is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Being critical of Israel is not anti-Semitic.
Right.
He was very, it's
true.
like, and it's not, it's like, Israel is not a monolith of all Jewish people.
Right.
There are plenty of Jewish people who are critical of Israel, as they should be. Israel is a nation.
Yeah.
And, he was critical of that. And he also had some good stuff. He's a little rough around the edges. But I figured it'd be, it's like, maybe vote for him. I still think Merkley will probably get in. Again, I'm okay with Merkley. Merkley's come in. He's done the those city halls.
Sure.
And he does a good job with them, as opposed to, I'm spacing the other Democrat we have right now, who I wish he was up for re-election right now, because he is one where his town halls have been interrupted because he receives money. Yes,
Wyden?
Wyden, yeah. Thank you for the reminder there. Because Wyden does receive money from the Israel lobby, and he is a bit beholden to them. And look, I don't mind if you support them, but at the same time, it's like there's a conflict of interest here. Right. And he has been very, he's not addressed this. People have brought up, people have literally interrupted his town halls, and his town halls sometimes have had to be canceled because of it. And at the time, it's like I went to one that was canceled. So at the time, I'm like, okay, on one hand, this is kind of annoying, but on the other hand, this kind of needs to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we voted for Wells.
Okay.
I do wish it was Wyden up instead, because I think Merkley and then Wells would both be good.
Okay. So I have a confession to make.
Okay.
That was not on my ballot.
Really? Are you marked as an independent on yours?
Here's the thing. And this might be news to a lot of people, I used to be registered as a Democrat.
Okay.
I changed my party affiliation.
Okay.
I am no longer registered as a Democrat. Sorry.
Okay.
I know, turned my back on the party, whatever.
I mean, I can't necessarily blame you.
Right. I am now registered as a Democratic Socialist.
I did not realize that was actually an option.
It's not an option.
Oh.
I marked other, and I wrote in Democratic Socialist.
Okay. I might have to make some changes to my ballot.
Well, here's the problem with that.
Not to my ballot.
Right,
but you know what I mean.
Right, yeah. But here's the problem with that. There is a downside to this. The upside is that I am embracing who I am, which great. The downside is that I don't get to vote in Democratic primaries anymore.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So my ballot doesn't have, it doesn't have governor. It doesn't have senator. It doesn't have any of that. The only thing I was able to vote in was nonpartisan
So the county shit.
races and county shit.
Okay.
Yes. So I can sit here and I can agree with, your decisions.
Or disagree.
Or disagree, when
fine.
it comes to your decisions.
We're gentlemen. We can fisticuffs.
Sure. That's right. If I were to have a say in that primary, I would vote for someone who, is not taking money from Israel.
William Merkley himself is not.
Yes. We alluded to this, or I did allude to this in our last episode, where, I kind of want to go down and see like who is running our local Democratic office, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I want people that have fire. I want people who are not just sitting around going, well, we have to follow the status quo and yada, yada, yada. No, I honestly, my opinion is the time for that is done.
You want somebody who's willing to throw down.
I want someone who's willing to throw down. And if that person is running for, state senator, if that person is running for to be in the House of Representatives, those are the people I want.
Yeah.
So, if there is an outsider running like that in, our federal election, that's who I want.
Yeah.
So, I unfortunately was not able to vote in that race, but I think if there is someone like that, that's who I would and will vote for when the actual November election rolls around.
No, that's absolutely fair.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
Oh, you're typing shit.
I am. One sec. This will get edited out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I just want to get some clarification because there are two other things where it's like very much,
Okay.
I want to know who they're running against in the long run. Okay. So next up, we have U.S. Representative 2nd District. For anyone who's registered Democrat, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on here.
Good God.
I know. It's a full docket. I ended up reaching out to the Josephine County Democrat Facebook group.
Okay.
Because I haven't heard a lot pertaining to many of these. And this is one where it's like, I'm willing to go with what they recommend. It also didn't hurt that I had a family member living in the area who says, hey, who are you voting for this? I'm like, I don't have the foggiest fucking clue. Let me check. And basically what they said is any of the women would be good, but there were 2 on there that were good. There was Rebecca Mueller and Dawn Rasmussen.
Okay.
We ended up voting for Rebecca.
Okay.
Again, this is the preliminary.
Sure.
I think either of them would be good, and I think Rebecca sounded like she was more. She came off like in the pamphlet, at least, like okay, a little bit less establishment and more of we need to get shit done.
Yeah.
Which is why I vote. But both of them, it sounds like, were good options. I don't think there's necessarily a bad option there. And keep in mind, I had to look this up because I'm an idiot who doesn't remember all these fun little specifics. This is somebody who is most likely going to be running against Bentz, or at least it's for his position.
Ah, got you.
So
yeah.
I know in the Republican Party, there's one other person who's running against Bentz in the primaries, and I have no idea if that person will oust Bentz or not. Bentz is about as popular as a fucking as chlamydia right now. So maybe he will not be in office, or maybe it's going to be somebody else running for his position. But
cool.
Either way, I think that either any of the women who are on here would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, again, if I could have, I probably would have done that as well. Like I said, I need someone with fire.
Yeah. Now, for the state office, governor.
How are you feeling about our governor?
Honestly, I'm not actually that annoyed.
Okay.
I mean, there are definitely things that are kind of like, okay, well, meh.
Yeah.
But overall, I do not dislike Tina Kotek. I think she does an okay job. I think the fact that she brings a lot of shit, or helps to bring a lot of shit legal wise against a lot of the dumb and illegal shit that this current administration does
Yes.
is a big fucking boon. And look, I understand. She caters to like largely Portland, Eugene, those areas.
Sure.
And there's a reason why. It's where most of the fucking population is.
Sure.
So adoy. But I think she does a good job in general. You just get a lot of people around who are pissed off because she doesn't cater to our specific neck of the woods, which on one hand has a lot of land, but on the other hand has a low population density.
Land don't vote.
Don't at all. And then I think you also have people who get pissy because I think she's part of the LGBTQ community.
Sure.
So, oh no, the horror.
Yeah.
But I voted for her for the primary again because I think she does do a decently good job. That said, I don't know enough about the other candidates because that's also a packed crowd. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people running for that position in this primary.
Yeah.
So again, it is a packed fucking crowd, and I don't know enough about the others to go, okay, you can vote for anybody, but this person, fucking avoid them. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if that would have been on my ballot, then I would have done a lot of reading on those people. My feelings about Kotek are, kind of like what you brought up. She kind of flies under the radar to me down here because there's not really much to say down here. I wish she would. I wish there would be a little bit more, discussion about our area. I get it though. Like you say, it's like, the voters are in Portland, Eugene, that area.
Yeah.
So, and again, I think she's doing okay. If she wins the primary, I will definitely vote for her because, fuck all the other choices that could be running at that point.
Oh yeah, for like the GOP and stuff.
Yeah, fuck them. I just want to see. I want to see some more fire there. Gotta light some fires now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff too, like outside of federal stuff that right now it's kind of on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that once we're done with this, midterms and shit, that it's going to get back on the front plate, or at least not on the back burner.
Yeah.
Like colleges around the area, they're having funding issues.
Sure.
A lot of state funding, federal funding stuff is being cut, and stuff is, it's like, it's not that they're all struggling, but there's stuff where it's like, okay, look, with some of these colleges, like they're getting back to pre-pandemic levels. They're doing a good job, but the funding's not getting back to pre-pandemic levels.
Right.
And that needs to happen.
Yeah.
But, it's like, it's midterms. And it's probably not going to be, the first thing you're going to be dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Now, for Senate Representative 3rd District, which I believe that's the one that's competing against Yunker.
Oh.
There's only one person there. Susan Fisher Makey.
Okay.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm wrong, I apologize. So I didn't vote for it. Yeah, I voted for her. Jesus Christ. I hope she takes Yunker to the goddamn woodshed.
I hope so too.
For nonpartisan office, this is stuff where we might start getting some overlap.
Yeah, let's hear it.
For commissioner of the Bureau of Labor and Industries, we went with Christina E. Stephenson.
I did as well.
Okay.
That was on my ballot.
And that's one where we went for her because, or at least I went for her, because the person who was in opposition went to college.
Yes.
He didn't earn anything.
Oh.
Like he went to college and it looks like he dropped out because he didn't mention anything that he got. All of his job opportunities seemed like, oh, you got this because you were white and a male. And you were like, he's an older guy. It's like none of the job opportunities that he had seemed like, oh, this is very impressive. Where Christina, she's been a civil rights attorney.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, I don't see that as a bad thing for, commissioner for the Bureau of Labor and Industries. I think that's actually very good.
Yep. I did as well. I read the other guy's bio thing, and it just seemed like, he kind of towards the end of like the last paragraph there, it kind of seemed like he was doing a, both sides are bad kind of a thing. But, I have a side that I lean more towards, and I'm like, yeah, no, fuck off.
Yeah. Not in your, yeah.
Yeah.
So then we got to judges, and I didn't fill any of these in because there's only one, they're only the incumbents. There's no challengers.
Yeah. That always bugs me a little, I understand why maybe there wouldn't be challengers here and there. But
look, the reason I get why they have it on the ballot if there's no challengers is because, if somebody wants to put other in and somebody happens to maybe get enough, maybe a judge is just really despised.
Yeah.
Then, okay, well, we'll have somebody else just based on the fact that people just put other and put Eric Cartman. Eric Cartman apparently wins the judge race.
Yeah.
There's a reference to the show Community for that, and it's an awesome show. I definitely recommend watching it. But then we get to the county commissioner position stuff. I put in Colleen Martin.
Oh.
So the reason I put in Colleen was the others on here. Look, as you mentioned previous episode with Tracy, I don't necessarily dislike Tracy's ideas, but he hasn't posted anything. Now, by the time this episode airs, maybe he has.
Sure.
But he hasn't posted anything on his, candidate race thing since the 22nd of April. It's been a while. He seems to have vanished.
Yeah.
To use a mildly vulgar expression from a movie that is awesome, he just up and vanished like a fart in the wind. Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
I love that movie. But it's otherwise it's like if he'd still been in here, and I very well might be going, let's vote for Tracy. But the reason I'm aiming for Colleen in this is because currently she is the incumbent. She was placed in there after the recall of Commander Chris. But she's level-headed. She's getting stuff done. She's basically one of those people where it's like her being in office, it's making the position of commissioner respectable again.
Sure.
Now it's something where it's like she's got a lot of work to do in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
And she's not doing it alone. But I even though it's like I'm not a big fan of she's been in real estate. So can we not get people in real estate in this anymore? But she herself seems to be doing okay. And Colleen, I doubt you listen to this, but if you do, please do not prove me wrong on that. The big thing, though, reason why I'm voting for her is she's somebody that I think will do a decent job. And I think she's probably the biggest challenger for Foreskin.
Yeah.
And I do not want Foreskin in again.
No.
Now, if we get him in, the whole thing of you get the government you vote for. It's I didn't vote for him, but at the same time, for everybody who voted for him who gets fucked, fuck you.
Yeah.
If that happens,
if he does get in, we'll have a lot to talk about, but that's not necessarily a good thing either.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, what was it when Jon Stewart years and years ago, when he was before you retired from the Daily Show the first time, he was asked about which presidential administration would you like to see? And it's like, he chose the reasonable one. It's like, well, wouldn't that make your job harder? It's like only if it's less ridiculous than the current one. Yeah, I think it was the Bush and Kerry election.
Oh yeah.
And it's like only if it's less ridiculous than the current one, which I don't think is a high bar to clear.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have somebody in government who's going to give us more talking points. I want somebody in government who's going to run the government
right.
Well.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts. I was really looking forward to interviewing Tracy. I wanted to hear his positions. I wanted to hear what he had to say, because based on our interview with Mr. Spurlock, he brought up some things that Tracy, had ideas on and stuff that he wanted to do. And Spurlock was saying that he would love to have Tracy in there to work with him and everything. So I was really looking forward to that interview because I wanted to see what Tracy had to bring to the table. And I was going to base my voting decision off of that. And I was really hoping that, it would go his way. So when he didn't show up, I was a little disappointed. And when I noticed that he hadn't updated his Facebook page in nearly a month. You know, I already had kind of, you know, these suspicions. I still do. Again, you know, as we're recording this, we still don't know what has happened. But it feels like I agree. He's fallen off the wayside somewhere. He's maybe ghosting his campaign. I don't know. He is a ghost right now to me. Mm-hmm. So I felt like, you know, sorry, like I can't vote for this guy. It seems like he's not there. There's no one home. So then who else, you know, is in a position that I can vote for? And, you know, I didn't want to do it, but as you have said, I don't want West in there. Who's West's opposition? Who's West's main opposition? Colleen. Okay. I too voted for Colleen because I didn't want, you know, not that I think this could happen or maybe even get close to happening, but I didn't want a moment where I open up the newspaper and, oh, John West won by one vote, you know? And I didn't want to sit there and be like, fuck, you know, I could have done it, but I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
So I voted for Colleen out of that. Do I think Colleen has issues? Of course I do. But as you have mentioned, she is more of the level-headed personality in that field. I feel like, you know, when we have listened to her, when I've seen her doing the county business meetings, she does bring a levity there compared to what we have seen in the past. She does her job. So I went with Colleen as well, mostly because I don't want to kick myself when this is all over.
And again, I don't think she's necessarily a bad choice.
I don't think she's a bad choice. You know, I think maybe there are, you know, I think we do have differences of opinions.
True.
About what's going on in local and county and national level stuff.
Very true.
But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just vote for someone else just because, you know, there's someone else. You know, she has been out there. She has been laying out her positions. I have seen her. She is not a ghost.
Yeah.
So she, I believe, is, you know, the obvious choice if you don't want a personality like West in.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Now we get to position 2.
Okay.
On this, I refuse to vote for Chad Hansen.
Uh-huh. So
I voted for Indra.
You fucking fuck you.
No, I voted for Matt.
Yeah.
Indra, there are many things I could say about Indra.
Uh-huh.
One is that I don't think she's as bad as Chad Hansen.
Right.
But that's like saying me cutting off my finger isn't as bad as me cutting off my whole hand.
Uh-huh.
Neither's good.
No.
But I voted for Matt. I'm really hoping he gets this because to me, Matt brings to this a sense of just common sense solutions. Mm-hmm. During the discussions, he is one of the few people who has actually presented like detailed plans for solutions. Like, okay, this is how we get this. It's like, we're going to apply for grants to bring money back, which is a big function of what local goddamn government does.
Yeah.
The whole thing of like, we need to get we need to actually manage our forests. And a lot of people have been, oh, that just means you're not going to log. It's like, no, it doesn't mean that. You get conservation groups involved, but it means that if you're going to open up logging again, no clear cutting.
Yeah.
You need to do selective cutting. You need to do fire suppression management stuff, like good common sense shit.
Yeah.
Matt is just one of those people that strikes me as in this position. How do I phrase this? He's not the hero we deserve, but he's the hero that we need, kind of a thing. Because he is this county. I do not think deserves Matt. Matt is freaking awesome. He's charismatic. He's friendly. He's willing to listen to people. Like I've literally seen him frequently engaging people just on his social media page, where it's like somebody, maybe they don't agree with him because they actually have an honest, like, different point of view, and he is engaged with them civilly. Maybe there's some little peckerwood jackass who's trying to troll him, and he still engages with them civilly. Like he presents good, reasonable arguments based on that. And it's like, again, he doesn't have necessarily administrative experience in the government, but he does have business experience, and it's not realty. So it's like, he is not an idiot. This is a man who I think could do a very good job. Now, that said, I also think if Matt gets in, you're going to have a lot of people who are pushing Barnett and West who are going to be absolute right twat waffles to him. But I think he'd actually be able to stomach it, unlike Barnett, who on the very last meeting was sitting there trying to call people out and basically dox people. Many of them weren't even rude to him. They were just being factual, and he didn't like it. So fingers crossed. I'm assuming you voted also for Indra.
Fuck off. Here's what I'll say. This position is full of a lot of, I hate calling people names, especially when we're on this podcast. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if our listeners have noticed, where, I'll let you do your thing, and I'll let you call people, stuff. But me over here, I'm very like, well, I don't need to call you names because, you're just
an ass,
a fucking idiot. So
you will use foul language, but
I will totally use foul language, and I will call people cocksuckers, and that kind of a thing. But I don't have the nicknames, because I feel like I don't need to do that because
it's juvenile.
Because we are two peas in a pod, but we're just a little different. Anywho, I think most people running for this position are fucking cocksuckers. And there is an exception to that, and it is Matt. And Matt, if you're listening, I do consider you a true friend of the pod. And I think that's just me as, my personality. If you accept me, I accept you, and, we're friends for life. Anyway, I did vote for Matt. And the reason is not just because, he has come onto the show and, and because I like him. When I listen to him, he does have a way that he carries himself. And it's much like you said already. He engages. He has thoughtful discussion. There's things that he thinks about. There's things that I have said even before we got to know Matt, where I have said things like, on a local level, you can't be totally left. You can't be totally right. There's things that you need to do to like just fucking compromise to run a fucking county. There's things you have to do, and you're going to step on toes, and it's just going to happen. And I feel like Matt is that person where he's like, he's willing to step on toes, even if it's people that agree with him. Sorry, this is things we have to do. And I think he comes with a lot of good ideas. I think he tries to reach people that disagree with him, and he tries to find a middle ground. He is not, it's my way or the highway. He's not going to be like Barnett and say, well, this is just how we're going to do it. We're just going to do it. Oh, and you don't agree with me? Well, get ready to hear from my lawyer. You're not going to get that with Matt.
No.
You're going to get somebody who is going to try his best to run the county, to avoid the icebergs, and, run it like it should be run. It should not be run like a business. Sorry. Do we need grants from the federal government? Yes, we do. Is it going to come from Trump's administration? Unfortunately, yes. But guess what? The money still spins. Sorry. I'm not going to like it, me personally.
Yeah.
fuck those people in that office, like whatever.
But the money's needed.
But the money, we need the money.
Well, and as Matt said in that commissioner forum, when asked about not this specifically, but when asked about, I think it was generally funding and stuff, and then we pointed this out when we covered the Chad Hansen's thing of it. Chad, I'm never not going to get that right.
I know.
But yeah, Matt basically said, look, we need money. If we get money from, like from liberals, from conservatives, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing here. But what he did say is, if we get money from Trump, it just spends all the sweeter.
Yeah, I did like that. Yes.
And that's a good, valid point. And I like that.
Yes.
And it's like, look, Matt has a very certain lean with certain things, but he's also not so full of himself that if he gets in this position, he's not going to go, look, fuck Trump and fuck the money he's giving us. It's going to be like, okay, look, I still don't like him, but we need this money as a county.
Yep.
He's offering us this. We'll take it.
Yep. No, I definitely think good Mr. Spurlock would run this county the way it should be run.
Yeah. Well, as one of three commissioners.
As one of three commissioners, yeah. So he would do his best, and and he got my vote.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed.
Yes.
Then we get on to county clerk and recorder. I voted for the current incumbent, Rhiannon Henkels. I just think she's doing a good job. It's very basic, straightforward. She doesn't bullshit with anything.
Right.
I was able to have a very pleasant interaction with her when I requested the petition that Fascist Santa had filed.
Yeah.
And it was mostly through email. And it was just, again, it was professional. It was polite. It was curt. She was very punctual with stuff. It was a joy. Yeah. And the simple fact that I believe, I could be mistaken a little bit, but I believe that she is the county clerk that was getting a lot of shit for like the counting up of the recall petition against Barnett. Yeah. And basically they were saying, it's like, no, she has to count every single one. It's like, no, that's not how the law works.
Well, I voted for her as well. And the reason I did is because of what you have said. She was very open about, giving you that, what the fuck did you just call
petition?
It? The petition.
Yep. Yeah. For helping fulfill the request.
For helping fulfill the request and being kind to you. Okay, that's fine. But I would actually say that was secondary in my reasoning for voting for her. My first reasoning is because I think it's a total smear campaign against her.
Oh, yes.
I think the only reason why she is not the only one running for that position is because she fucking followed the law.
Yeah.
I think she had a lot of right-wing dipshits that were hounding her that are only putting in people to run against her because she didn't do what they wanted her to do.
Very potentially. Now, that said, there are two people who are running against her. I don't know jack shit about these other two people.
I don't know, I don't know.
But no, there was a lot of, before this election cycle, there were a lot of people who were pro-Barnett, pro-Mitt, and pro-Foreskin who were just trashing her over the fact that
who were telling people to go down to her fucking office.
Yep, and harass her. And again, for literally following the fucking law. Yeah. So, she's fantastic.
My vote for her, it is a vote in support of her, but it is also a middle finger to fucking everybody else who were telling people that she needs to do it their way. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Now, next up, we have the county treasurer. I again voted for who I believe is the incumbent, Dustin Calvo, mainly because I don't know too terribly much about Alexis. Simon here is a tool, and Dustin's not doing a bad job. He's like, you're basically having somebody in who's competent. They do the job correctly. There's not like any big major issue here.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, why should we trade horses?
Yeah. I voted for him as well. And again, I think my vote is, it's not so much as support of him as it's a middle fingered fucking everybody else.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why people are running against him, well, Hare in particular, I don't know about the other person that's running, so, I'll leave them out of it. But I think this whole fucking election, in a nutshell, is just a bunch of good old boy, there's a clique out there that they all just want to have their friends in some sort of form of county government.
Yeah.
I think John West, Simon Hare, Chad Hansen, those people, I think they just all want their buddies in, and you always see their signs next to each other. I think they just want it to be a big clique that's running the county.
Well, I think they're kind of going for kind of like what the current presidential administration did with the second time around.
Yeah.
They're trying to take shit over.
Yeah.
Because if they get enough people on the county commissioner side, they can vote in a lot of shit. Doesn't matter if Ron Smith is, approving or not.
Sure.
If you get somebody in the county clerk's office who's willing to, bat for you and there's a recall, maybe they make it go a little bit longer because they decide, I am going to count everything. Now, that's going to be a lawsuit against the county.
Yeah.
That's going to be a losing lawsuit, and the county doesn't need more fucking lawsuits.
Yeah.
But that's a potential there.
Yeah.
Now, the other one that was on here that I am going to mention, but I didn't mark anything in because there's only one person, is Wally Hicks.
Oh.
Wally Hicks is on there. In all honesty, I understand why nobody else is running. It's a lawyer position that for being for the lawyer, that kind of field, it doesn't pay particularly well. You can get more in private sector. And Wally's okay. It's just there's stuff that we've gone over with Wally. Where it's
if there was a person running against Wally who had the cajones, who had the schooling, who, had what it takes to be, a county legal,
would vote for him.
I would vote against Wally Hicks.
Yes. No, you'd vote for that person.
I would vote for that person.
Okay.
Wally, I don't know, man. It seemed like there was a moment there where, maybe he wasn't doing it on purpose. Maybe it just, was happenstance. But it seemed to this observer that there was a potential that he was kind of, in a way, running firewall for previous commissioners.
A little bit.
When that library thing was supposed to be brought up within a month or two.
Like 30 or 60 days.
30 or 60 days, and it just went on and on for over a year.
And it's something that, as the county district attorney, you should be seeing here going, hey, guys, we have this thing on the back burner that you still haven't addressed yet. You need to address this.
Yeah.
Like, no, this isn't a you should address this.
This isn't a kick the can down the road.
You need to address this.
You need to address the can, please.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen. And then, the Barnett gets recalled. Black resigns, and then you have two people that get in there, and then all of a sudden Wally Hicks is like, hey, so we have this thing that we need to do, and it's like that was a fuck you moment for me. To Wally.
He should have been doing that consistently.
You should have been doing that consistently. It should have been. You should have been bringing that up. Now again. Do we know if he was doing that behind closed doors? I don't know. Yeah. Sure seems like it wasn't. So if there would have been somebody running against Wally would not have gotten my vote.
No. Now, there are two measures on the ballot. One is for the gas tax.
Okay.
Now, this is one where we might diverge on a little bit.
Okay.
We ended up voting no.
Oh.
So the reason we end up voting no is because right now, look, it's supposed to be for funding things like roads and basic maintenance repair. And that's all shit that we need. And this is not something where I'm going to tell people you need to vote no on this. I think either way, It's not a great position. And it's just the reason we voted no is because prices are already going up far more than what this would make them go up by. But prices are already going up because of some shitheel national administration. And this is something where I know we need the funding from this, but we're voting no. We, I mean my household, not Mr. Morgan's. But we voted no on this because we're not wealthy. And it's one thing where it's like, if this was not high inflation from the national level, I would probably be going, let's vote for this. I mean, it's like we're obviously not getting the funds from the federal government like we used to for these roads and such. So we need it from somewhere.
Okay.
And again, I think no matter what way you vote on this, you're kind of fucked because either you vote no on this and road maintenance and stuff goes downhill and we still need road maintenance. Or you vote yes on it, and it's just a little bit more that you're paying for gas when gas is already freaking skyrocketing, under no small part because of some dumb fuck war over the goddamn Strait of Hormuz that was supposed to be a week long, and we're now, at the time of this recording, in the 9th fucking week of.
Yeah. So my position on this is this right here is a kick the can moment. I too voted no.
Okay. How dare you?
I know. Now, did I want to vote yes? Yeah, I did, because I think, it's a good way to fund things and whatnot. But the problem is what you brought up. Because of this dumb fuck administration, they did something that caused everything to skyrocket. Everything across the board.
Yeah.
Gas goes up, diesel goes up. Guess what? The cost of transportation to get your shit here also starts going up.
So groceries and shit go up.
Other thing, to fuel the fucking wheat threshers, that cost goes up. So now your cost of food goes up. It affects literally everything.
It does.
So I think my position is if things were good, if gas was under $2.50, if
gas is under $3.
If gas was under $3, okay, maybe there'd be some wiggle room there, but especially if it was under $2.50.
Yeah.
Fine, if things weren't so fucking expensive right now because of our fucking idiots that got into that fucking position, if things were fine, I probably would have voted for this.
Yeah.
If things get better and this comes back around, maybe in a couple years,
I'll vote for it.
I'll vote for it. Yeah. But right now, as it sits, I think it is just not a good look to say, hey, we want to tax gas even more by 40 cents. Was
it 40 cents?
I think it was 40 cents.
If I recall correctly, it wasn't 40 cents.
I think
so.
The gas tax was.
No, the gas tax currently is 40 cents per gallon. It is.
Okay.
This, I think, was like a 6-cent increase.
Okay.
So it'd take it from 40 cents to 46 cents, if I'm correct.
Right. And then there was other stuff about registration going up and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, I still think, my thinking is clear on this. It's like, would this be good? Yes. At this particular time right now, when people are struggling, no, sorry. Come back to me when things are better.
Yeah. And there's one last issue on the ballot. I voted yes on it.
Okay.
It's the levy increase for the animal shelter. And that one I voted yes because it's 5 cents. It's a property tax, basically. For the average household, as mentioned in a prior episode, it's like an extra $1 a month. The horror. It's not even a full cup of fucking coffee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I voted yes on this too. Because, like you brought up, 6 cents. If 5, whatever. Yeah.
Get it right.
Yikes. Wow. Maybe I should have voted again. No. it goes back to what fucking John West said during that interview, like, oh, like the horror, you're going to tax me another motherfucker. You have the money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and yet I'm still voting for it. Like, what does that say? What should that tell you?
Well, the fact that that's the kind of thing where it's like, it's all local. It's not going to bankrupt you or me.
Right.
And we're relatively poor.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's bitching, pissing, and moaning about this when it's like he's a multimillionaire, it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck you.
Now, in retrospect, things like the gas tax, that's something where, again, that's not going to ruin me, but that's going to have a bigger impact on my life.
Right.
Than a 5-cent levy for the animal shelter.
And again, I feel like we are only voting no on that because things are already so high right now.
Yeah.
If it changes, if things go back down, then I think that no turns into a yes.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. If they had the ballot made in a way or had that measure in a way where it's like, okay, look, we're not going to do it right now if you vote yes on it. But if you vote yes on it, we will have this thing where it's like, hey, if the federal government stops doing this and inflation comes down below this point or, stuff, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
My response would have been, okay.
Yeah, cool.
But I also think that's a pain in the ass to do in legislation.
Yeah.
That is the end, at least, of the ballot that I saw. Was there anything else in your ballot?
That's where my ballot ended too. So yeah, I unfortunately, because I have changed my voter registration, I wasn't allowed, I guess, to vote in those primaries. But I think maybe something needs to be said about that, where it's like, okay, I get it if you're not a part of the party kind of a thing, but there's another part of me that's like, well, I still have a choice, don't I? Like, I
just not in the primaries.
Like, and that still feels a little icky to me. I think I should have, a say in, who gets to run for governor.
Well, look, I think you should. And here's the other thing.
Yeah.
If it was a matter of, okay, you've switched out of this party, the Democratic Socialists, and they have their own candidates for these positions.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I would go, okay, you shouldn't really have a say in this.
Okay.
Because you have your own party stuff to whatever. But since there wasn't anybody on the ballot for that, I think then it should be, okay, well, since I'm in a party that doesn't have any representation for my state and federal government, since it is a left-leaning party, I should be able to vote in the hard left-leaning political, that party. And hard left is a very subjective,
very loose.
Yeah, it's very subjective because the Democratic Party is not hard left. They're middle right-ish kind of. But you should still be able to vote in that because you don't have anybody in your actual party. Right. And honestly, I think if there was like a hardcore libertarian wing that did not get, their own particular specific brand of leaders on the ballot, I think they should be able to vote in the Republican ones.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I feel like primaries are just kind of like this weird kind of thing.
It feels kind of like it's the fantasy football before you get into the big game.
Right. Yeah.
So you're choosing your draft.
Yeah. But I'm not either. Kind of other people, you are getting to choose who I will
get to vote for.
Exactly.
So it's
and I and like I said, it's like I get it, I understand it, but it still feels a little dirty.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was supposed to be a short episode, but we're almost at 50 minutes now of talking. So, Mr. Morgan, do you have anything else to close out on?
I think I took my moment to say what I had to say.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure vote. I'm going to repeat something I believe we said before. Right now, in this election, I love mailing it in as an option, but if you're able to, walk over and physically turn it in a ballot drop-off box, just because this is an election where you don't want your ballots coming in late. Just get it taken care of so it is done with. And hopefully we have a good selection for the midterms and get a good turnaround, and hopefully for a local government we actually get some decent people in. So thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions, ideas, or please be sure to email them to maltliquorsocialists
At
gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, and this episode will also air on YouTube.
Vote.